Also, I started going to the gym 5 days a week.
How's that going?
Immediately derailed because I woke up on Monday sick.
Oh,
Literally, I went the first week was last week. I went 5 days in a row. And I was like, all right, got to keep it going. Woke up on Monday, sick. I was like, you motherfucker.
See, that's why I try not to pressure myself to go certain like days in a row. As long as I get 4 to 5 days in the week, I try. If I get 2 days off in a row, like it doesn't bother me.
For me,
you need that hard structure
because otherwise I won't do it.
Gotcha.
Like, and because I'm awful at forming habits.
Like last week,
I just need like it feels nice in my head to be Monday, Friday.
Gotcha.
Like, and Saturday, Sunday, you're good. You know.
Like last week, I took almost the whole week off, and then this week I just got right back into it.
Yeah. So, I'm still like recovering. I'm fine now.
Right.
I just have a bit of a cough every now and
right.
then, a little nasally. But so if I feel better tomorrow, I might try to go, or I'll just restart on Monday. But it was such an annoyance to be derailed immediately.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Because it's like I really need to like start being more active and like lose weight and better.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna cut that all out.
Leave that in. No explanation at the beginning.
Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this evening, Michael, followed by Culture Corner host, Sage.
That's me.
And
I have red hair.
She does have red hair now. And the culture today is movies.
It's Gunfu. That's the culture for the day.
That's true, because Sage has apparently rewatched all of the John Wick.
I didn't rewatch the fourth one because I don't think that's like available on digital yet.
Is it not?
It could be, and I just didn't look for it, or maybe you have to purchase it.
Probably.
I didn't see it like on a streaming service, but I could absolutely be incorrect. But I did recently rewatch 1 through 4, and I mean I watched the fourth one in theaters, so I have like a pretty clear recollection of it. You know.
Peacock.
Oh, see, I don't have Peacock, so I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah. Who the fuck does? Let's be honest here. Anyway.
But they seem to get licensing for like literally everything.
Because they do own a lot of things.
Do they own Universal? Or is Universal like with them?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Anyway, yeah, so I was recently rewatching the John Wick movies, and boy howdies, those movies never disappoint. Like, apparently there's a show that either just came out or is about to come out, The Continental. Yeah,
that is about to come out, I believe. Also, I believe Universal is under Peacock.
That's what I thought.
Anyway,
but yeah, no, I just think they're such fun movies, and watching Keanu Reeves kill like 748 guys because they killed his dog and stole his car. I'm like, I think this is the true meaning of catharsis. They stole his
chance to grieve.
Well, I know, but isn't it just so much funnier to put it in the phrases of because they killed his dog?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the dog meant more than it just being a physical living dog.
Yeah.
But the idea that because like throughout the movie, they're like, he killed his dog and stole his car. Everyone's like, yes, this is an understandable rampage.
When it's John Leguizamo, right? He punches
Alfie Allen. Is that his name?
I think so. I was gonna say that his name from
Theon.
Yeah, Theon.
I don't know that his last name is Allen, but I'm pretty sure his first name is Alfie. But yeah, when he just
Alfie Allen.
Woo! When he just decks him.
Yeah, I heard you hit my son. Yeah, well.
He stole John Wick's car
and killed his dog.
Yeah.
Oh. Just hangs up.
Yeah.
Also, as an aside, you know, people don't do this anymore to signify talking on the phone.
I saw that. I saw that recently. I think on like Instagram or something that like.
Yeah, this was a TikTok thing like a while ago.
Young people now do this.
Yep.
Which
makes sense.
I know that makes complete sense, but because I've always done this to signify like a landline phone,
or just because we had flip phones.
Even then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this just makes so much sense to me that I can't go like that. Like that feels weird. Like that's if I went like this, I would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
What's that supposed to like signify?
Right. Anyway,
Is
it's
this
a
a-
side tangent.
Is this a sign of my age? Am I getting old?
Well, I think, I mean, by that justification, we're all old.
I guess so.
We just experienced flip phones for long enough to be like, yeah.
I never thought about it as flip phone. I always thought of it as like like your house phone.
Yeah, I think both.
That was like with the
Yeah, I always thought of it as both though. I mean, yeah, clicking it, but also like
Yeah,
you
like,
flip
that's
a
what-
phone. The flip phones.
No, you're right,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I mean, you do hold the flip phone like this, but still,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it. Anyway, regardless, we're old people, get it.
Yeah.
But we still have better taste than any of you, so
Yeah.
that's
I
why
mean,
we're the
that's a
cultured,
given.
Yeah, that's why we're the cultured ones.
Exactly.
But anyway, so you watched 1 through 3,
1 through 3, and then I watched the fourth one in theaters earlier this year.
right? Okay.
Which the fourth movie, I love that.
Also, I mean, it's been a minute, but with spoilers for
Yeah, just
the
in
John Wick
case.
movies, just
Yeah.
in general.
One, I love that the whole through line, right, is like, okay, movie 1, wife dies. The symbol of him grieving dies.
Yep.
He goes and slaughters everyone and their mother.
Mm-hmm. You get a rad fucking nightclub scene
Yeah.
with awesome music playing in it. Fucking love Think.
In the no, I don't know if it's the nightclub scene, but there is one song from the soundtrack that I love. I think it's called Spirals. And my only gripe is it's only 58 seconds long. Like
It's like part of the movie's soundtrack.
Yeah, like I could listen to that song for like 10 minutes straight. It's so good.
I think I have the entire first movie soundtrack on my phone, or but I think is just an incredible song because that's not even from them. That's something that already pre-existed prior.
Right.
But it's so fucking good.
Yeah. But I just love that it's like, okay, so this is movie 1. He has to get vengeance. And then movie 2 is kind of like he gets his vengeance, and then the brother of who he killed, their entire like fucking clan or whatever, is like, oh, John Wick, he killed my brother, my nephew, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then John Wick is like trying to get his own shit sorted. He goes to Italy. He arrives in Italy and they're like, are you here to kill the Pope? Like, that's their immediate first thought. He's like, nah.
Yeah.
I got my own shit to handle. I'm not here to kill the Pope.
Uh-huh.
And then I can't remember his name, but the guy who's like fanboying over him.
Yeah, isn't that in the third movie?
Is that the third movie? Oh, I think you're right. The third movie is the fanboy, which I just love that. Like, that character dynamic is so funny to me.
Every time he tries to sit closer and he keeps moving away.
And then in the third movie we get Halle Berry. I also just these movies and their just appreciation of dogs.
Uh-huh.
It's so good.
Well, once you kill one, everything else has to be treated very well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think out of all the movies, 2 is the weakest, quote unquote, just because it feels, I don't know, like something about it feels a little less grounded, even though 3 and 4 get like crazy.
Right.
But like something about it feels a little less like grounded, and the story itself feels a tad weaker than the others.
I could agree with that.
And like I feel like that's like such like a broad explanation, but like I can't really, because I didn't just rewatch them,
Right.
But like based on my memory, I feel like, and I still love these movies. I think they're all solid like 4.5s to 5s all around.
Right.
But I do think that the second, at least from my memory, is the weakest of them. Even though they're all still incredible, because I'm a huge slut for fight choreography, and these movies are like orgasm one after another. Like you're not getting out of that theater clean.
I think it's so interesting that like Keanu Reeves pre John Wick movies was like known
Just
primarily for The Matrix.
Right.
And then John Wick happens, and most people now know Keanu Reeves for John Wick.
Yeah.
Which I feel like The Matrix.
That's the fourth movie that came out, Resurrection, whatever that one was.
Yeah, that was the fourth one.
Not great.
I didn't watch it. I
It's
mean, The
just
Matrix
kinda
was never
whatever.
really for me. But
Yeah, honestly, first one's the only one that's really worth it.
I just remember being like 9 or 10 years old, and I don't even know which Matrix movie this was, but it was. I knew it was The Matrix, and my family was watching on like VHS tape,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember it being scary.
Okay.
But I was also like 9 years old.
Right.
And so I just could never get into it, even though like I've watched it again, like as an adult.
Right.
It's just not for me.
The first one's the only one that I think is actually worth it.
Yeah.
All the others are just kind of whatever. They get really up their own ass,
Oh.
you know?
Which one is it where it's like Keanu Reeves and he's in that like room with all like the TV screens? Is that the third one?
I believe that is the third one.
So if I remember correctly, in that scene they're like, oh, everything that's happened, like what was it? Something like already planned out, or like we knew all of this would happen, blah blah blah.
Well, yeah, because he's the
one.
the maker or whatever, the one he's talking to.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and people I remember were upset about that. So what happens in the fourth one?
It's so like him, and so turns out he isn't dead, because in the end of the third one he dies, but he doesn't. And Trinity is also still alive.
Right. But the fourth one is set like much later, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the exact amount of time between in real life.
Oh, okay.
And people are still going into the Matrix, and they find Neo. And so they're trying to free him. And he's stuck in like another simulation where he made a game about the Matrix, because he's a game developer in this one.
Neo?
Yeah. And that's the simulation he's trapped in.
Oh, okay.
And he keeps like running into Trinity in there, but like, and they keep kind of like having these moments, but like she's a family and kids and whatever. And so like, hold on, you talk for a second. I'm gonna pull it up real quick just to remind myself.
While Mike finds the synopsis for the Matrix Resurrection,
because I don't want to get it like completely wrong. Because I'm just like sidelining it in my own head as I'm talking about it, because I just didn't like it.
I'm just gonna talk about how much I love the aesthetic and the world building of John Wick movies in general.
The world building
like
is fucking insane.
Everything is just so cool. It's just dripping and oozing with coolness. And I know cool is kind of like a bad word to describe things because it's so plain, you know? It's kind of vague, but that's what it is. Everything just oozes coolness. You know what I'm saying? And like, I always love the mixture of this kind of like vintage style, but also hyper modernized at the same time. And the combination of those two aesthetics together.
Right.
So like you have the girls who do like the coded radio show and like what contracts are out, right? And they all have like that kind of 50s rockabilly kind of look going on, but they're all tatted up and like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they have like the typewriters and the older computers. I just love it. Like the aesthetic of everything is incredible. But then you also have just like guys in their houses with their fucking iPhones, you know, and they all exist in the same world.
Yeah.
And I like how the hard set rules of the Continental, and that there's international Continentals.
You just reminded me. Fun rule of thumb for the movie universe and TV in general. If a character has an iPhone, they're not evil.
What?
They're not allowed. Apple doesn't let villains have iPhones.
That's so funny. Yeah.
So if somebody has an Apple product, they are not evil.
So next time I'm watching something and I see somebody who looks suspicious and they have an iPhone, I can be like, rest assured, they're not evil.
Unless that changed, but that was like a big rule of thumb. That and if somebody has an iPhone, they're not evil.
That's so fun. Actually, I feel
It's like how The Rock has in his contract that he can't lose a fight. Apple has in their thing you can't.
I feel like that might. I think also like aren't you not allowed to like destroy Apple products on film?
That also might be true.
Like I know in the network they like smash the MacBook. But do we see do they say that it's a MacBook, or like do they show that it's a MacBook, or they're just smashing like a vague computer?
Apple will permit film productions to use its products on screen, but with one big caveat: villains can't have iPhones, or can't have an iPhone on camera. So anyone that has an iPhone, they're not the villain.
Wow,
that's a big thing because of Knives Out. In the first movie, I think.
Yeah.
He was like trying to figure it out, and he was like, and he learned. The director learned about this, and he was like, "All right, well, okay."
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so he wanted the villain to have an iPhone, and they were like, "No."
I think he was just asking about it, and they were like,
"That's so funny."
But yeah, so no villain will ever have an iPhone. So if you wanna keep a track of that, if you ever think somebody's bad and then they have an iPhone, they're not.
Interesting. I know in Glass Onion, where Miles not Miles, but Blanc is like, "Oh, do we get an iPad if we win?" Right? So there's the scene where Miles throws the iPad at him, but they can't show him throwing the iPad. It's just like leaves his hand, and then it cuts to like him catching it.
Right.
Which I think is so funny now that you say that.
Yeah.
No villain can have an iPhone.
So, yep.
But yeah, just the aesthetic, everything looks so great. If Keanu Reeves, not just John Wick, but if Keanu Reeves decides for the rest of his life he only wants to wear black turtlenecks with black tapered suits, I will not complain.
Okay.
I would be okay with that forever. It just looks so good on him specifically because he's very like tall and like long,
right?
And it just makes him look even taller and longer. And it just
he's a very lanky man.
Yeah, but like it's just so tailored to his body, and it looks so excellent and crisp.
Dude, somehow at infinite unaging self
he's like 1,000 at this point,
is going around throwing people around like nobody's fucking business, and it's rad as hell. He makes it like his commitment to the craft is fucking awesome.
It's insane too, because I feel okay, so he's 59.
Wild.
So let's say John Wick 4, during filming he was maybe the youngest 57.
Right.
You should see the shit he goes through in John Wick 4. Like, why are we letting this elderly man
because he can
get this shit?
Dude, he could kill you with a pencil.
He absolutely could. We see it happen.
And we would thank him.
Honestly, yeah. Like, if one day, like, if when I die and death comes knocking on my door to like take me into the afterlife, if it's Keanu Reeves, I would just be like, it's just fine.
Keanu Reeves as death.
As death, I would be like, there's no complaints. Just take me. It's fine. I will not fight back.
Okay. Yeah. But like those movies are just, and each one somehow. Again, I think 2 might be the only misstep for me, but I think each movie, even as a misstep, I still think each movie gets progressively better.
I agree.
And I will say that I think 1 is the most solid contained story.
Yeah.
But in terms of everything else, like the world building and the aesthetic just keeps getting better.
Also in the 4th one, with
And the character and the action.
with Pennywise as the villain. His name I can't actually remember.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yes, thank you.
It is Bill, right?
Yes, I think it is Bill. But the scene where he's talking to the New York Continental manager, and they're in like the museum, they got to shoot at the actual Louvre. Like, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm. God, I felt so sad when Carry On? No, because he's named after the fucking Greek god. I think it's Carry On. I don't know. Whatever. Now spacing on the regular word. The dude that works the table for the Continental.
The desk?
Yes. Whose name I'm forgetting. But Carry On, right? Isn't that his?
I thought his name was Sharon.
It's something like that because it's based on the Greek god.
I know, but I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Exactly.
So I'm just going to say it in like the worst American way possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, either way.
When he died,
especially because it was after he did die in real
Right.
life. And I was like, well, that works out really well for the character. They don't have to make a bullshit excuse to write it off.
Right.
But also, oh, God. I was
I know.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was such a great scene for that, though, too. And it led to a great moment at the end, which, now we're... Did he die? Did he not die?
Right. I think he died.
I don't think he did. It feels very Cowboy Bebop-esque. He dies on the stairs. Like
I know, but even
everything.
in Cowboy Bebop, are you gonna tell me
Spike didn't die.
that Spike doesn't die?
No, Spike didn't die.
Like, how much more of an epic Spike conclusion
He
death
survived
scene
worse.
do you? But just think of the iconicness. Like, come on.
Nah, look, man.
Like, if he's gonna die, he's gonna die in his own way, and John got to do the same because he finished all his obligations. And even earlier in the movie, right? Because they're talking about Sharon. I'm so sorry. Him, and they're saying like, oh, the only thing I put on his gravestone was friend, right? And then John is like, I want loving husband on my gravestone.
Right.
Because he knows he's eventually going to kick the bucket. Like, how long can this man's be fighting these goons off? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like he, at that last moment, like, he's definitely dead. Because then he's like, okay, I fulfilled all my obligations. There's nothing tethering me to this world anymore. You know what I mean? So I can go.
Right.
I feel like he definitely died.
I'm on the fence that he lived. And that
Really?
he just used that as an excuse to leave.
To get out again?
Yeah, especially if they make another one, like, because I feel like, again, even if you believe he died,
Right.
if they make another one, the way that they wrote it, I feel like is ambiguous enough for you to have accepted that he did live.
I think you're correct, but I think if they... something that tells me he died, they're doing this Continental show, which hasn't come out yet.
It's a prequel.
All right, never mind. Throw what I was going to say right out the window right away.
At least I'm pretty sure it is.
But I think if they continue like the John Wick universe without John Wick.
Yes, it is a prequel because it is young Winston.
Oh, okay.
Dealing with the Continental.
Gotcha.
Mel Gibson's playing the head or whatever.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I think if they continue to move forward with the John Wick series, right? I think they've established like a lot of characters at this point throughout.
Oh, I would be
4 movies.
If they want to give me
but
one of the
even characters that we only get one of, like in each one movie, right? Like, and they were like, okay, now we're gonna follow like this person's journey.
Yeah,
I
they
would
give me
be
the girl.
so okay with that.
From the 4th or
The daughter.
Yeah. Well, we're getting the ballerina movie.
Right.
With Ana de Armas.
Right.
Whenever that happens. Which I'm sure will be great.
Right.
Fucking love Ana de Armas.
Although I feel like we probably wouldn't get one with like Halle Berry as the main.
Probably not. I wouldn't mind it though.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't mind like a one-off.
No, I wouldn't mind it either. I just can't see it happening because, and I don't mean to say this in, like, I think it's a bad thing, but just think about this in, like, Hollywood structure, right? I think they wouldn't do a Halle Berry movie in the John Wick universe solo because they have, Halle Berry is what, like 50?
She's around his age somewhere.
Maybe a little bit older at this point. And I personally don't agree with this, but Hollywood is
57.
not... Okay, so she's 57. I mean, if I look like Halle Berry at 57, I will have literally zero complaints. But Hollywood, as we've seen time and time again, does not favor older women.
Yeah, but she rocked the third movie.
You're right.
She was only in it for like
I agree.
30 minutes.
I agree.
No, she was not even in that for 30 minutes. She was maybe in there for like 10.
I agree. I really liked her addition in the third movie. But the problem is, and this is what I think, if they ever decided to like think about making one, I think this is what would happen. They would say Halle Berry is 57 years old. She will be too old for them to like franchise her out. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but
I feel like
you don't think that they would give her a one-off.
No.
They'd want to franchise it.
I don't think they would want to do a one-off because if you think, like, let's say they do a one-off with her and then a one-off with the daughter from the fourth movie, who I'm very sorry, I don't remember her name. And then let's say they do the ballerina one, like you're saying, with Ana de Armas, and then maybe if they really felt like it, they brought Perkins back in some way, right?
Her name was Akira.
Okay. Right? So let's say they did like Avengers style one-off movies. Do you not?
Yeah, she's a singer.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Do you not think they would want to like
She's 33.
do a
What?
movie with all four of them later?
Nah, all right.
Because you know what I'm saying?
Hollywood probably.
That's what I'm saying.
But I like to hope that the creators of John Wick's universe have
Right.
proven themselves good enough by 4 movies in a row making a fucking mint
Right.
that they can have their own little sphere of control and be like, we're just doing some one-offs. They'll make you money. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I would also really like that because if they did choose to do a standalone movie with Halle Berry as the main that we follow for that movie, and it's like her and her dogs just tearing people up, my butt would be the first one in the seat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think she did really, really well in in that third movie. Like, I felt like she was really holding her own, especially up against Keanu Reeves, who has already established himself to be like,
Yeah, she put in the fucking work.
yeah, super good physicality wise, like training with the guns kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she does not get overshadowed by him in that movie. So if they chose to do a standalone, I would be like, this is excellent. This is a great choice on your guys' end. I just don't think they would choose to do it.
Yeah. Also, we still have like very little information about the ballerina movie. Just that it's existing and
Like-
coming out next year theoretically, but who knows how far that I don't even know if they finished it. So like I don't even know if the strike is pushing this back.
Oh, like, so, but there's a full cast and everything already
I mean,
done,
yeah, we
or
know
they
a bunch
just
of the- we
announced
know
that they
a
were
bunch
going
of
to
the
do
people
it,
that are gonna
and
be-
that's all we know.
No, we know a bunch of the people that are going to be in it.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be taking place between 3 and 4.
Okay.
The film is scheduled for release in 2024. Let's see. Ballerina was officially announced in 2022. Began 2022. By November, the rest of the cast was rounded out. Principal photography began soon after. So I'm gonna guess strike probably affected this somehow.
I feel like it would
Soon after November. So let's see. Say they started in December.
Right.
December, January, February, March, April. When did the strike start? March? No, summer, right?
Yeah, summertime. I think maybe like June.
So like 6-7 months, maybe.
I feel like maybe they finished.
It doesn't even list that they finished filming though. So
If I could imagine they did like a bulk of the filming, and then maybe they have like possible reshoots to get through.
Ballerina was in post-production February 2023.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it did make it to post-production.
Oh, okay.
Which means, well, unless they need ADR, which they can't do.
Or if they have to do any reshoots.
Yeah, but they at least finished main shooting, apparently.
Okay.
So there's that. But regardless,
right.
Yeah, I would like to think that they could hopefully, because the franchise is John Wick, and sure, if they're not going to make another one, they'd probably want someone else to be a franchise somewhere.
Right.
Because Hollywood. But I would like to think that they could get away with some solos.
Right.
And Halle Berry could be a solo, and Akira could be a solo. Or you could make the series with Akira or Ballerina.
Right.
I mean, I think they could at least hopefully justify a solo or two.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, the amount of characters that we get that people would absolutely be down to sit in the fucking theater and watch an entire movie of them. Because the world building's insane.
Yeah, I
the
feel
amount
like
of shit that's going on that you're like, I want to know
more.
more.
What works so well with the world building is it feels tangible and real, right? Like this could exist.
Mm-hmm.
And
the dude with his dog. That could be another guy. Another one off.
That guy was good. What was his name? Nobody or Ghost or somebody?
I think it was just Nobody.
I think it was Nobody. But yeah, that guy was good too. But yeah, the world building.
Or the guy John Wick stabbed in the heart. He said if he didn't murder with the knife, he'd live. He can come back.
True. If with the world building, it's somehow super detailed, but also extremely vague. So they have like endless potential of where to go within just the world building.
Yeah.
And what they can do. Which is great for them, you know what I mean? Like it's such a smart way to build up your world in the fact that like it all makes sense that it's vague because they're all these like secret assassins, you know?
Yeah.
So you don't want to be like, okay, I'm an assassin and here's a day in my life, you know? Because that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's like too kitschy for what John Wick is. Does that make sense?
Okay. All right. Hold on. Hear me out though. hear me out about this idea.
Okay.
A TV show. It's
Okay.
like 6 episodes.
Okay, limited series
Yeah,
type deal.
yeah, like small. Each episode is just a day in the life of an assassin.
Because when I think day in the life,
Maybe even 3 episodes. I don't need a lot. Or just a one-off episode. You know, maybe like an hour, 40 minutes. Just one assassin's day in that assassin's life.
Because I feel like when I think day in the life of like for
and
an
it
assassin,
ends with
right?
them getting killed with John Wick at the very end.
Could you imagine? I think too much of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Great movie.
It is a great movie,
movie.
But if you think about the tone of that movie versus what the John Wick universe has turned into,
that movie had no business being as good as it was.
no, that's one of my favorite movies. Actually,
It's incredible.
like I'm not even lying when I say that.
No, it's incredible.
I used to be obsessed with that movie as a kid.
It had no business being as good as it was.
Like I think truly.
Isn't that where they fell in love? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie? Yeah.
That was the scandal because he was married to Jennifer Aniston.
Were they married?
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, or maybe they weren't married and they were just in like a very long-term serious relationship, but I feel like they were married.
And him and Angelina Jolie never actually had like biological children, right?
They did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they only adopted like 57 kids.
They adopted, but then they also, I think they adopted first and then they had bio kids.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Because they adopted like 100 children.
Yes,
they
did.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Smith versus John Wick tone.
But yeah, like the tone of those two movies are wildly different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and because in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I remember my point. Sorry, guys, everyone listening, but my point was, if you watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
These names are terrible.
I think, in my humble yet correct opinion, you come out of that movie knowing if you're bisexual or not. That like
That was your point?
yeah.
Versus John Wick where you don't?
No. I'm just saying, not because of the way it is. It's just Brad and Angelina. And
Okay.
They're fighting with guns. Like, you come out of that movie being like, I do like both men and women.
I mean, if it's Brad Pitt.
Or you could be like, I just like Angelina. Or I just like Brad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I think that they stay away from Mr. and Mrs. Smith territory. We don't need that. That movie's that. They shouldn't go near it. But I think that like with the world they have, especially just the world in general, like the fucking like telegram girls,
Yeah.
like where they're still using old fucking style stuff and like yeah,
Yes.
or like
They're typewriters and they're like old ass fucking
phone connectors, yeah, and like they're just still connecting calls via the yeah.
Like 1950s style like connecting.
And they're all just fucking like tatted out and shit. And then you have like the
And then they have that giant like chalkboard with like each person
yeah.
saying that they have like the contract under.
And they have the
money for it.
fucking like radio host in the fourth one that's just like fucking rad as hell, and you don't ever see her actual face.
Her voice is so just like perfect for what it's supposed to be. Like I don't even know how to describe the voice to you. It's so like effortlessly tantalizing and alluring, but also like makes sense as a radio voice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's so good. Love that voice. Great voice.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's so much like going on, and the aesthetics of like the neon colors in each movie,
Yeah.
and the like the different styles of fighting that you get going on, like from the different weapons and everything. I don't know. It's just, and they get more creative. The fourth movie is the most creative in its fight scenes, I think, out of all of them. Especially when you get the top down, like video game
Oh my
shot.
God, those long takes are incredible.
Yeah.
Through the house.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they're using the dragon's breath
Oh
ammo.
my God, it looks so. Whoever kind of comes up with these like storyboards, right, of like what kind of shots they're gonna do.
Yeah.
For these super elaborate fight scenes, like give them all the raises.
It's. I mean, the directors were fight choreographers.
Oh.
They
Very
were fight. They were like the directors for fight choreography. That's why they went and did John Wick.
Oh. So they were just like, hey, we are already experts in this field. Now let's make it even better
Yeah.
on the screen.
Because they know what to do because they did it.
Right.
They're the ones being like, all right, we're gonna have the fight scene for this movie. We're gonna make it, and then and they and they're like, now we're gonna be go be directors. Now it was tandem for the first movie, and then one of them went to go do something else, and it's been Stileski's. Yeah, Stileski since.
Now, sorry to kind of jump away from that real quick. In the second movie, where we have Ruby Rose as like one of the
People.
fucking Doom Squad members.
Yeah, one of the main fodder.
Yeah. Did she die?
I'm pretty sure.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it ends with her being dead.
I don't.
Because she says, "See you in hell."
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Ruby Rose, awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a shame she got kicked out of being Batgirl because people didn't think she was gay enough.
Isn't she like gay IRL?
Yep. We've talked about this before. People didn't think she was gay enough to be Batgirl.
I don't know how you want her.
Sorry, Batwoman. Correction.
I don't know how you want her to be more.
She wasn't gay. She wasn't gay enough to be Kate Kane.
Okay.
Yeah, she got shit for not being gay enough. This is where when I'm not a member of the LGBT plus community, but my friends that are, all I hear is how they're like, it's the most toxic community ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, isn't the whole point that you're supposed to be out there supporting each other?
Part of why I don't involve myself in like the LGBT community, even like I
Right. They're gonna say when it's exhausting to be gay.
A little bit. Honestly, like I'm sure you understand this, but trying to like toe that very thin line of like, I don't know if this girl likes me because she also likes women, or you happen to be a female, so females inherently have this very close bond with each other, and sometimes it can get really gay, and it's not.
Right. Like the fact that women are way more comfortable just showering together at all
So,
times.
being someone who's interested in women, I'm always like, I don't know if you're sending me signals or not. Should I be sending signals? So then we just kind of do this dance around each other until one person eventually gives up.
I just like the idea of like, are we showering together because you like me, or are you showering together because you just trust me? But like from like all the other friends that I have in the community, they're just like it's so tiring. From friends that are bi to gay to whatever. Especially most people that I know that are bi, because they're like the amount of people that are like you're not.
Oh, you're not bi, you're dating a man.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not bi, you're dating a woman. You're actually a lesbian and you just don't know it. No.
Yeah. Or the pan community that fights the bi people because of hearts not parts or whatever. I got that whole conversation to me like years ago, so I don't know if that's still the same thing. But
I don't know either, because I decided to take myself away from it. And like when I was younger, I would say, yes, I'm bi, because I didn't know there was a better word for it, which would be pan in my case.
right.
I'm not saying this about everybody else.
Right.
In my own case, I didn't realize there was a better word to describe how I felt.
Right.
And so when I was like, oh, there is a better term for myself. So I made that transition for myself to be like, yes, this is more correct for me.
Right.
But the number of people like I've talked to who are either bi or also pansexual, like, I'm like, I don't even understand what you people are upset about. Like, who is this? Is this affecting you in any way?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in the community. I just hear it from secondhand from my friends that are.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's just. So, anyway, my point was just that there was a whole thing that the community was saying that she was not gay enough.
I don't understand.
Which, you got me, man. She's a perfect choice for Kate Kane. And it was a bummer for her to, after the first season, to be like, so I'm done. Bye.
Is it that Ruby Rose is bisexual?
Is she? I thought she was lesbian.
Oh, I thought she was bisexual. I could be wrong. She might be a lesbian. But, like, how much gayer than a lesbian do you need this person to be? Like, I don't understand how you can get more gay.
No, she is just lesbian. She's been lesbian out in public since 12.
I don't understand how you get more gay than just a lesbian.
Hey man, I don't know, but she was like, it's not worth it. So she stopped being it. Which is so stupid because again, perfect casting choice for Kate Kane. But regardless, by the way, so about the Matrix, real quick, when we were talking about the newer one,
Yeah.
I remember the reason why I didn't think it was all that great.
Resurrection?
Yeah. And it's because it's like 2.5 hours of basically just a love story.
Between Neo and Trinity?
Yeah. Which is like fine, but it's not what you're expecting it to be, you know?
Were
Like,
they always in love?
yeah, they were. But like, it's just, like, you could argue all of The Matrix was a love story between Neo and Trinity, I guess. But like, it felt unnecessary to exist. Almost. And that was basically like the entire point was just the love story and not like something else. And also the entire movie constantly critiques and makes fun of the fact that trilogies are getting sequels, because in the movie Neo is making a game and they keep asking him to make a sequel to the Matrix trilogy games that he made. And so they keep pitching ideas about how they can make it new and exciting and interesting, and it's a commentary about the fact of this movie. And you're like, I get it. Like it's the same thing as like the Whedon effect for comedy, where they point out the joke to make it funny. And you're like, it's not. It's that's not how this just always works.
I was gonna say, does it feel like how like the MCU will make commentary about the MCU? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or they make commentary about their own jokes. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just the movie as a whole just feels kind of unnecessary. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris was a pretty fun villain.
Oh, he's in that movie?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that feels really random.
It kind of is. But
nah. It's so funny. I feel like I only take Neil Patrick Harris as like a super serious actor, even though he's like
usually a comedic.
Usually like in like more sitcom-y kind of roles.
Yep.
But there's just something about him that I think he is a really good at being a serious actor, like quote unquote serious actor.
Right.
Where he can take on more intense roles.
Right.
That's just how I see him. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, fair enough. I usually just see him as a sitcom-y kind of guy.
No, that makes more sense to see him that way because
right.
it's been like essentially the bread and butter of his career.
Yeah. Even though I haven't really watched him in any of that.
Right.
But I don't know. And either way, back to John Wick.
Yeah.
I do kind of want a John Wick 5, but I want it to be necessary. And that's kind of what they've consistently said, is that they're like, we would not be opposed to it. We just need it to make sense. Right. And I've seen a bunch of people that are like, honestly, give John Wick 5, have it be the end of the series, and just have it be like John fighting, like go fucking off the walls with it, have him fighting fucking demons getting out of hell or some shit. Like just fucking send that man through the ringer and then be like, oh, this one jumped the shark. We can leave it forever now.
Right.
You know? But like,
I feel like, I don't know. I just think there's they tie up 4 in such a perfect little bow,
mm-hmm.
right? That I think if they did a 5th one, it would kind of undo the ending of 4. At least for me.
I feel like it depends how they do it, though.
On the steps, and then you see him with the gravestone, and it says "loving husband" next to his wife's gravestone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's nice.
I mean, yeah.
Like, yeah, they're both dead, but still, that's nice. And
but what if the 5th one's Dante's Inferno, and he's going after his wife? You know, he's trying to fight. He's trying to escape hell to get to heaven.
I was gonna say his wife is in hell, or he got put in hell, and he has to get up to heaven.
Yeah, he has to get up to heaven. Yeah, it's Dante's Inferno, the video game. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Where his wife dies, but because she's like pure, but Dante forsaked the gods or whatever and cheated on her before he got back to her, that her soul was thus forfeit to the devil. And so he goes into hell to go kill the devil and save his wife. And so just make it like that, except not that her soul is forsaken. Just the fact that he's fighting his way down to hell to get to the Satan and fucking defeat Satan to get to heaven.
Gotcha. No, I feel like if they
It'd be a fucking awful movie, probably. It'd have to be so much CG, it would be horrible.
I feel like if they did a 5th one, it's actually also, it's a prequel as well, right? Like the Continental is going to be a prequel.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they do a 5th movie, and it's a prequel, and it's like and it's the meet cute of John Wick and his wife.
Yeah, it's why he gets out.
Yeah.
I mean, that could work.
I feel like that would be cute, but then it's just like her progressively being like, sir, what? It's like almost like sitcom style of like, you know, in the sitcom when it's like, here's this obvious problem, right? And I have to solve it, but at the same time, I have to tell this other person the problem doesn't exist.
Right.
That setup of like a sitcom episode, but in John Wick, where he has to murder a bunch of fools, and the wife is like, "Why are you late for dinner?"
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but I think the John Wick movies are by far some of the best, like, hands down the best action choreography you can go to from a movie in like recent history. I would say that Shang-Chi is also that up there, especially if you're looking for wushu type stuff.
Shang-Chi is definitely a different vibe in terms
Yeah.
of choreography.
I think it loses itself in the last third, but that's neither here nor there. It's the only reason that movie is so much lower on my MCU ranking list.
The problem is that even though the first 2/3 are excellent, it still has to be a Marvel movie at the end of the day. So like you have to have that third act laser battle fight.
Which,
if that makes sense.
I mean, we've had this conversation so many times, but it's just sometimes things should be grounded, and Shang-Chi should have been a thing that was grounded. He's just a dude that fights ninjas.
He's just a dude that punches really good.
He punches the best, even.
Yeah.
He is supposed to be the best fighter. And you just went, all right, anyway, so let's make him fight a giant fucking monster dragon and give him the 10 rings that are apparently now magic and whatever. It's like, he doesn't need that. He goes and fights galaxy-ending threats with his fists because he's fucking cool.
Yeah. There's nothing we can do about it.
I know. It still fucking annoys me. Because that movie should have been so good. And it is until it isn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's ranked, where is it ranked on my, it's ranked 31 on my list because the last third is just so bad. Like, it's not even just it's just not interesting to watch after that.
Was Shang-Chi Phase 4?
Yes. It's anything after.
Endgame.
Yeah, is Phase 4 until Phase 5, which is already started, but
Which started, Quantumanium ended Phase 4?
I believe so, yeah. So everything after Quantumania was Phase 5.
Are you excited for the Marvels?
No. Because
I have no feeling about the Marvels. I'm not even gonna lie.
I am only not excited because I don't give a shit about Kamala Khan's powers. They're so lame. They're so fucking boring, and it makes her character less interesting.
My one thing is I actually, because we had Brie Larson's Captain Marvel.
Also, her character, her Captain Marvel's not interesting.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know that it's gonna happen, but I'm hoping they give us
Something.
some reason to care about this Captain Marvel, because in the Captain Marvel movie, it's just
So
not
bland.
enough.
The only thing going for that movie was Sam Jackson.
Like, it's weird in that the messaging is heavy-handed, but the delivery is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we see her in Infinity War and Endgame, it's so quick.
I was like, yeah, there's barely anything
There's
there.
no development there, and she's still kind of being like cocky.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my one true hope going into the Marvels is that we get some reason to care about Captain Marvel.
I need a reason to give a shit about her, which is a bummer because I really like Brie Larson. It has nothing to do with people hating Brie Larson for no fucking reason. I think Brie Larson's fantastic. I want to like her as Captain Marvel.
She's such a good actress, and I think she looks good as
She does.
Captain Marvel as well.
I will say I do think her suit should have been more colorful in the new movie. There's some of those things they show. It's a great suit. Looks great. I just wish it's just too muted.
Yeah.
Like, that was what was great about the first
The
movies.
first one was super vibrant.
Yeah.
It had, like, the popping bright gold and the red and the blue, but they didn't like compete with each other.
Yeah.
It was like really
All that
balanced.
suit needs was just to be brighter.
Yeah.
I think
And
that
I like her, like, side-swept hair in this one as
yeah,
well.
I think that Kamala Khan looks like she'll be fun in the movie. I just think her powers are boring. But like I think that but her as an actress and character are fun.
I'm curious what they're gonna do with Monica though, because she's the only one that doesn't have any standalone stuff, right?
She was I would say she was like the supporting actress, the main supporting actress in WandaVision.
I mean, I guess, but she's
Because it's Wanda's story and Monica's story, I would say.
But I feel like compared to Wanda's story, if this is Wanda's story, this is where Monica's supporting story starts.
I mean, yeah, but like it
It's in my opinion, compared to Kamala and Brie Larson, it's just not on the same level.
this is also, I believe, the second movie to actively come out of a TV show. Two of the main characters are out of that. Because Doctor Strange comes out of WandaVision also. And it does kind of hamper the movie a little bit if you didn't see WandaVision.
A little bit.
And you could argue Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out of Loki because of the multiverse thing. But really, it doesn't. Like, it does, but it doesn't. You could absolutely have seen Quantumania without seeing Loki, and it'd be fine.
I mean, that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I picked up on everything that was
Yeah. But this one has two main characters that only were from TV.
true.
So, also Secret Invasion. Did you watch Secret Invasion?
No.
Fucking horrible.
Really?
Garbage. Horrendous.
The Skrulls and Nick Fury?
Yeah. Absolutely god awful. They needed at least some ground level heroes, like a Hawkeye being a spy too. They needed something.
I'm just gonna ask actually, are we supposed to get Haley Steinfeld Hawkeye again?
I fucking hope so.
Because I really liked her
Give me just another season of Hawkeye.
as Kate Bishop.
Yeah, just give me another season of Hawkeye.
I think she's so fun. I also just kind of have a soft spot for Haley Steinfeld.
Same.
She's a great actor.
She's also so hot.
Like, I think she's really cute. Like, she looks great in the outfit.
People gave shit to Hawkeye a lot, but I thought Hawkeye was fantastic.
I appreciate so much that they make her, like, what is she, like 20, 21 years old?
Yeah, around there.
Like, I really appreciate that she's not a high school student.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that
She's in college.
she's a young adult in college. It makes so much sense, and you can do so much more with that.
Also, her and Florence Pugh's character,
Oh,
fantastic.
like the new Black Widow?
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah.
They were so fun
Are
together.
they still having her as the new Black Widow?
Yeah,
Or
she's
they
supposed to
have
be in
her
the Thunderbolts. No, she's supposed to be in the Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
But like, I don't know.
Keep up on the news.
Yeah. But I would just take another season of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Especially because I know people gave shit about it, but I also like it so much because of the fact it's so grounded.
I love how contained
It's just fighting some fucking mobsters.
the story is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I can express how much I appreciate that from Marvel as we know it today with this super small contained story. Because when you have something like Multiverse of Madness or Shang-Chi or Quantumania or whatever, right? Where it's like these galactic world-ending threats. Well, yeah, you have a whole fucking cinematic universe to get through. So obviously they're gonna sort some shit out.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you have like a super small, like, oh, New York City mobsters, it's so easy for them to lose the day and it not affect literally anything else.
Yeah, I would really just love if Hawkeye just was another season and just kind of kept that small contained thing, because I think it's fun. It made Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye much more like likable.
Well, I think we just get a lot more of him.
Yeah.
Previous to that, we had extremely small moments with him. And that's so
Even in where Avengers 2 is like about him weirdly.
It's so crazy too, because what's the first movie he's in? Thor?
Yes, for like 5 seconds.
Right, so he's in Thor a little bit, and then we have him in Avengers. But that's how long he's been in this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how long he's gotten literally zero spotlight for.
Same with Black Widow.
Like,
She got more prominently featured in her first appearance, which is Iron Man 2, than he did in Thor.
right.
But like they still have basically the same.
True.
And the and she didn't get a fucking movie until forever ago.
True.
Or till forever, until forever, and it took till like now. And the movie was like okay.
It was just fine.
Yeah. I think I liked it more than most people, but like it's whatever.
I liked Black Widow. Not so much for the villain. The villain was kind of like nothing for me, but I liked the concepts they were going for and the themes they were going.
Oh, the villain was absolutely fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
They ruined Taskmaster. They you know what they did to Taskmaster? They fucking X-Men origin Deadpool him. I have zero problem with Taskmaster being a woman. don't give a fuck about Taskmaster's gender. But why did you X-Men Origins Deadpool Taskmaster? How that didn't work out for the fucking original play. They had to make an entire movie to fucking fix that. Like,
But maybe they thought if we just try it again, nobody will be the wiser.
why? Like, the Taskmaster. Very few people give a shit about Taskmaster, but
That's why they did it.
but Taskmaster is supposed to be like a stupid fun villain.
Right.
Because he's a fucking loser, but he's also scary. Just because he's really good at fighting people. But like, if your main villain doesn't speak, they're boring.
The problem is,
Your main villain cannot speak if they're, obviously like a mute character or something. But like, there has to be something for them to play off of to be interesting.
I think
There was nothing for her.
the problem with Taskmaster and Black Widow is I wouldn't even say that Taskmaster is the main villain. Taskmaster is essentially just like
A pawn.
the fighting arm
Yeah.
of the main villain, which also doesn't help in the interesting
No,
aspect.
it doesn't help
But
either.
Then you have that she doesn't talk, and then you get like this very quick sad backstory. So then you want to sympathize with
Taskmaster should just be a random hired goon from the person.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They try to muddle it too much. Like Taskmaster is essentially like another widow, but to the extreme, and it's his own daughter and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
like
they muddle too many things with that.
like in Captain America 2, they have Batroc the Leaper as a hired goon. Well, like the fucking loser nobody gives a shit about. But it's a cool fight when he's on the boat fighting Steve, and he's like, "What are you more than just your shield?" And they fucking fight and whatever. In Black Widow, he should have just, or she, whatever. I don't care what the gender of the character was. They should have just been a hired goon. You don't need a sad backstory. You just need them to be there as a person that the fucking head of the Red Room hired to fight Black Widow and kill them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need.
I think I don't want this to sound bad, but I think when you take the main plot beats of the story out of the story, it's actually a really good movie.
It's true.
Like the family dynamic.
The family dynamic's the best part.
I love the opening with them as kids. I love it. And then okay, now they're all adults, but they've all been separated and then coming back together. But it's like a super strained family unit because they were never really a family.
Right.
Right. It was all a front. But still, these are the people you grew up with and who essentially raised you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So all those things, I think, are so well done. I think the chemistry that the main four have together is really good.
I will say though, the movie shot itself in the foot by the fact that it came out after Endgame.
Well, yeah.
If
But also, I think, in my opinion,
it would have been much more impactful if it came out prior.
In my opinion, if Disney cared about the Black Widow at all, it would have come out before Endgame.
No, it would have. Absolutely. It should have. It mutes the movie's point insanely.
It's a phase 3 movie in phase 4.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Because it basically is like, oh, I want to see more of them all interacting. And then Endgame would have happened, she's dead, and you're like, wow, I'm never going to get that. Now it's like, well, I know she's dead, so I'm not going to want this to happen because I know it won't.
And then where it leaves off is the entrance of Infinity War. So you're just I get it where it's supposed to be in the timeline, but as you're giving it to me in person, real life, this is not as effective. And also the thing with it being after Endgame, she sacrifices herself to save everybody else, right? And for us, that's the most heroic hero moment we get for her.
Right.
Prior to Black Widow is her death.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so impactful. And then the scene following it with Clint just being devastated and traumatized essentially, right?
Yeah.
He gets the Soul Stone. Then to be oh, here's a Black Widow movie pre-Endgame, pre this super...
It just makes you not give a shit.
It loses all the impact and the weight of her sacrifice, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just a mess.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot I can go into about that. The fact that we're also still have one more we still have one more DC movie before James Gunn's. No, Blue Beetle's fantastic.
What's the one after?
Fucking Aquaman.
Oh yes, I just saw.
Which I will say, I think it's so funny too because what the fuck's her name? Amber Heard. In that trailer for 0.5 of a second, they were like, "Don't think about it." Like,
do you think they had to do that like as a contractual thing?
Probably. I am excited because I do like the first Aquaman movie. It's actually good. It's pretty. I think it's a fun movie. I am, and because I'm really really hoping. So wow, we're already over. Spoilers, potential spoilers for Aquaman 2 if things I've been seeing are true. Do you care?
No, I probably won't even.
Okay. So there's a story in Aquaman's history where he went from like being like the lame person no one gave a shit about to like people being like, "Oh shit, Aquaman's fucking rad." Where Black Manta steals Aquaman's kid, a baby, and like chains them up and is like next to like a fucking active underwater volcano or some shit. And Aquaman is also chained up and he's like, "You're both gonna fucking die. I got you." And Aquaman rips his own hand off to get out of the chains, to unchain himself to go try and save his son, but he fails and the baby dies. And there's been test screenings where people have been leaving and people are like, "The baby dies! Let's go!" So people are really like, "Yo, if they give us the fucking baby dies story, hell yeah."
That's so funny.
So I kind of hope it is that story. But people are worried that they said they had to do reshoots and people are worried that they're going to reshoot it so that way the baby lives. Who knows? That might not even be the story.
Right.
It might just be awful and people are leaving because it fucking sucks. Who knows? But if that baby fucking dies, it'd be metal as shit. I'm just saying. It's a fucking raw comic. Anyway, yeah. But I like Aquaman. I think it's one of the best DC movies. I think it's top 3. Actually, because I rewatched the DC movies recently, the Snyderverse movies, to refresh myself. Worst decision I ever made in my life.
I was gonna say, were you just suffering all the way through?
Pretty much. I did learn that Suicide Squad. I would rather watch Suicide Squad, the original one, over like 4 other movies. So there was that. But yeah. Number 1, Blue Beetle.
Okay.
I think that's the best Snyderverse movie. Fantastic. Then James Gunn's Suicide Squad, then Aquaman. And then it's Shazam and then Wonder Woman. But
The first Shazam?
yeah. And the first Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, because 84 fucking sucks. Also, it's creepy. The fact that he doesn't just get his own body and it's really weird. Like, and it's not like Diana's seeing Chris Pine, Steve Trevor. She's seeing the guy and she's sleeping with this dude and it's not up to him. It's not consensual. Like, it's gross. Like, I don't know.
I think the whole problem with that movie is that, like, it kind of doesn't know what it wants to be.
No, and everything it decides to be is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rushed and too slow.
Yeah, no, it's gross. Anyway, thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, follow. Check out Cat the Moonstar on Twitch. You have 3 weeks to watch Blue Lock.
Yeah.
Great show. So yeah, you have 3 weeks. Don't forget to do that, and we will see you guys next week for whatever we talk about.
Yeah.
See ya.